Okay, guys, some more examples of when A is not 1 factoring and using the big star trick that I use. Again, lots of teachers are going to teach you different ways to factor when A is not 1. All are correct. Just find the one that works for you. All right, so we're going to start our big star. And remember, this is AC, so A times C, B's on the bottom, and this is going to be AX and whatever the A value is with an X. Okay, so 6 times 5 is going to give us 30, and it's a negative 5, so it's going to be a negative 30, and our B value is a negative 1. So we're looking for the factors of negative 30 or multiples of negative 30 that will give us the sum of negative 1. Remember, this is our AX squared plus BX plus C form. So AX would be 6X here and 6X here. So you're just taking your A value, put an X with it in the upper parts of our big star. Now, we're going to find the factors of 30 that will add or subtract to give me 1. So I have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5, 5 and 6. And then you keep going and you're going to get all the way back up to 10. So then we have all of our sets. Remember, if you're not good at finding that list in your ACV chart or your factors, you can type in the Y equals in your calculator 30 divided by X and then hit second graph, and then you'll use that table of factors to find that list in case factoring or knowing the multiples of a number is not something that comes to you quickly. All right, so 1 and 30, not going to give me 1. 2 and 15 won't give me 1. 3 and 10 won't give me 1, but 5 and 6 will. So I'm going to go 6 and 5. They need to be multiplied to be a negative and add together to give me a negative 1. So that means if B is negative, the big number in our factor tree or factor choice is going to be negative. We're going to look at this not fraction. Remind me again, it is not a fraction, but we are going to pretend like it is because this is our little hack and cheat. So 6 and 6 do reduce to 1 over negative 1. We don't want to leave that X. So the first term is the one in the top. So X, and then minus 1 is how you finish that factor. Looking at 6X and 5. 6 and 5 cannot be reduced. So it's going to be 6X plus 5. And as always, don't take my word for it, check. So X times 6X is 6X squared. X times 5 will give me 5X. Negative 1 times 6X is a negative 6X. And then negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Combine our like terms in the middle or simplify. So 6X squared minus X minus 5. And that's what we started with. So we just factored it appropriately. All right, big star number 2. Pause the video and try it. I challenge you. I will say, remember, AC, it goes up here. B, AX, AX. It's just a matter of memorizing that. So pause and try. AC, 3 times a negative 6 is going to be a negative 18. B is a negative 7. Our A value is at 3, so we're going to do 3X and 3X. And I'm getting excited because you're really supposed to check for GCF first. Always check for a GCF first. But in this case, because it's 3, 7, and 6, there's not a GCF. They don't have a term in common. All right, so I need to know multiples of 18 that will add or subtract to give me 7. So 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're back around again to 9 and 2. So 7 will not come from 1 and 18. So it'll give me 19 and 17. 3 and 6 will give me 9 and 3. But 2 and 9 will give me 7. 9, 2. B is negative, so we know the big factor is negative. We're going to look at our not fraction and pretend and see if we can reduce. 3 and 9 do reduce. 1, and that's going to be a negative 3. Don't forget our X. Remember, this top term is the first term in your factor. Then the last bottom is your second. Okay, and then we go to our second not fraction. It's not a fraction. We're totally cheating the system here. So 3 and 2 cannot be reduced. So it's going to be 3X plus 2. And again, you can box it, FOIL it, check it. So X times 3X is going to give me 3X squared. And then 1X times 2 will give me 2X. Negative 3 times 3X is a negative 9X. Negative 3 times 2 is a negative 6. Combine our like terms there in the middle. we end up with 3x squared minus 7x minus a really ugly 6 up there, 6. And that's where we started. So we did it again. All right, one more. Big star. AC goes on top, B on bottom, AX in the corner, A times X in the corner, and then our factors are going in the bottom. Okay, so you try it. Pause it and try it. 2 times 15 is 30. And then we have a negative 13b. Our A value is 2. Now we're finding the multiples of 30 that will add or subtract to give me 13. So that's 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're done. Okay, so 1 and 30 definitely can't. 2 and 15 could. 3 and 10 could. 5 and 6 can't. So now we really have to think. We need a negative 13, but a positive 30. For this 15 and 2 to give me 13, 1 would have to be negative because we have to take 2 away. The difference would be 13. In this case, we need them to multiply to be a positive, so they both have to be negative. So we're going to do negative 10, negative 3. Look at our not fraction. We're going to pretend like we can reduce it. So it's going to be 1 over 5, and that's a negative 5. And then our x. So remember, the top is our first term. So x, and the bottom is our second term, minus 5. Then we'll go look at the other side. 2 and 3 cannot be reduced. So it's going to be 2x minus 3. And again, you can FOIL it or box it back out. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times a negative 3 is a negative 3x. Negative 5 times 2 is a negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. So 2x squared minus 13x plus 15. And we nailed it again. So that's big star. That's my favorite way to factor when A is not 1 and when there's not a GCF. Because remember, you're always supposed to check for a GCF first. All right, guys, have a good one.